learning only 3 were booted, but still there are growing concerns as more will have to.
They can't be here. Migrants expelled from New York. Shelter closures in Chicago and New York. A step towards more effective and fair migration management. The recent announcement of shelter closures for migrants in Chicago and New York has sparked debate and reflection on migration management in both cities. While initially appearing as a drastic measure, this move represents a bold step towards more effective, equitable, and welfare-centered migration management for both migrants and local residents. In Chicago, the closure of shelters comes at a time when the city faces a series of challenges related to migration, including overcrowding in shelters, resource shortages, and the need for more sustainable urban planning. For years, the city has welcomed a large number of migrants seeking refuge and opportunities. Putting pressure on social and housing services, the closure of shelters aims to address this situation by reallocating resources towards more effective assistance and relocation programs, as well as promoting a more equitable distribution of migrants throughout the city. In New York, the closure of shelters reflects a shift towards a more orderly migration policy, focused on long-term solutions. The city has experienced an influx of migrants in recent years, raising concerns about the shelter's ability to meet the needs of all residents. By closing shelters, the goal is not only to improve the quality of life for migrants, but also to strengthen integration and social cohesion across the city. According to a recent census, as of last Friday, there were 11,210 people living in 23 active shelters managed by the city and state. This measure comes amid growing pressure on social services and increasing demand for housing, attributed in part to the influx of immigrants to Chicago, as well as other cities like Denver and New York. One of the main reasons behind shelter closures is the need to adopt a more holistic and proactive approach to migration management. Instead of simply providing temporary accommodation, local authorities are working to develop comprehensive integration programs that address the long-term needs of migrants, including education, employment, and healthcare. This will not only benefit migrants, but also local communities by promoting greater diversity, inclusion, and economic prosperity. While it is understandable that some sectors of the population may have concerns about shelter closures, it is important to recognize that this measure represents a step forward in seeking more effective and fair solutions to the challenges associated with migration. By focusing on the development of policies and programs that address the underlying causes of migration and promote the integration and well-being of all residents, both Chicago and New York are demonstrating a real commitment to the values of inclusion, equity, and social justice.